They underestimated your strength. And it's not because they thought you were weak, because they thought that your strength had limits. They believed eventually you'd get tired. Eventually, you'd stop standing back up. Eventually, you stop believing in yourself. Eventually, you'd settle. Eventually, you'd accept whatever they decided to give you. They thought it was only a matter of time. And before we get all the way into this, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's already subscribed. And I notice in my analytics that most of the people watching these videos aren't subscribed yet. So if you've been enjoying these conversations and if they've been helping you, I'd love to invite you to subscribe and join our community. Now let's get into it. Maybe you felt that. Like somebody kept pushing just to see where your breaking point was. Every disappointment, every broken promise, every lie, every betrayal, every criticism, every dismissal, every time they ignored your feelings, every time they crossed another boundary. It was almost as if they were asking, how much more will they take? And for a while, you did. And it's not because you were weak. Because you believed in people. You believed people could grow. You believed conversations could fix things. You believed love could heal what honesty was willing to comfort. So you stayed. You tried. You forgave. You explained. You hoped again and again and again and again until one day something changed. And it's not because they changed, because you finally did. See, they underestimated something that couldn't be measured, your capacity to grow. You see, they thought that every painful experience would wear you down. They never considered that every painful experience was also waking you up. While they thought they were exhausting you, you were learning what respect actually looks like, learning what love isn't, learning what manipulation feels like, learning what your intuition had been trying to tell you all along. They underestimated your ability to connect the dots because once you started seeing patterns, you couldn't unsee them. The excuses stopped working. The confusion started clearing. The fog lifted, and suddenly the blinders fell from your eyes. You weren't reacting to isolated incidents anymore. You were responding to a pattern. That's when everything changed. Because patterns remove doubt. Patterns remove excuses. Patterns tell the truth. You see, they thought your strength was simply your ability to endure pain. They were wrong. Your greatest strength was your willingness to grow beyond it. There's a difference. Anyone can survive, but transformation requires courage. Transformation requires honesty. Transformation requires letting go of versions of yourself that no longer fit. And that's exactly what you did. You let go of the version of you that apologized for having boundaries. You let go of the version of you that confused potential with reality. You let go of the version of you that kept waiting for consistency from people who had already chosen inconsistency. You let go of versions of you that believed that loving someone meant abandoning yourself. That took strength, real strength, that kind nobody sees, the kind that doesn't make headlines, the kind that's built quietly, through tears that nobody witnessed, through prayers nobody heard, through mornings when getting out of bed felt like a victory. That's strength. And that's the strength they underestimated. You see, here's the part they never saw coming. While they kept testing your limits, you kept expanding them. While they thought they were wearing you down, you were building resilience. While they thought they were making you question yourself, you were learning to trust yourself. While they thought they were creating dependency, you were discovering your independence. While they thought they were taking your confidence, you were building something much deeper than confidence. You were building self-respect, and self-respect changes everything. Because once you respect yourself, you stop negotiating with behavior that constantly disrespects you. Once you respect yourself, you stop begging for consistency. Once you respect yourself, you stop chasing people who keep showing you they don't value your presence. Once you respect yourself, you realize that protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's wisdom. This is why I always say the truth becomes impossible to ignore once you stop arguing with what you keep experiencing. You see, your experience was strengthening you. Long before you realized it, every disappointment taught discernment. Every betrayal sharpened your awareness. Every ending revealed what truly belonged in your future. Nothing was wasted. Not because the pain was good, but because you refused to let it be meaningless. That's exactly why I wrote Phoenix from Stability to Power. Because strength isn't measured by how much pain you can survive. It's measured by what you choose to become because of it. You see, Phoenix is about rebuilding trust in yourself, creating boundaries without guilt, recognizing your worth without needing someone else to validate it, and building a future that's no longer controlled by the people who underestimated you. You see, they underestimated your strength. They thought that your kindness would make you stay forever. They never expected your strength to become boundaries. They thought your patience would last forever. They never expected your strength to become standards. They thought that your forgiveness meant unlimited chances. They never expected your strength to become wisdom. They thought that your love would always outweigh your self-respect. They never expected your self-respect to finally lead. They thought they had more time, more chances, more access, but they underestimated how powerful it becomes when someone finally decides they deserve better. They underestimated your strength. Not because you never struggled, not because you never cried, not because you never doubted yourself, but because every single time life knocked you down, you came back with more clarity, more courage, more discernment, more peace, more confidence, more of yourself. They underestimated your strength. You discovered it. And once you discover your own strength, no one else gets to define your limits ever again. Peace, blessings, love, and power.